Okay, welcome you guys. Thank you so much for being on the team call tonight. Let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be talking about fine tuning, and we're going to be talking about our course to the moon. Do you guys remember, I really want you to roll back in your memory and try to remember when you were a little kid and you felt truly invincible. You felt like you believed in Santa Claus. You thought you had superpowers, like maybe you could cast a web out of your hand like Spider-Man can. I know Brian still thinks he's Batman, but do you remember when you were a little kid and you believed that there was magic to you? There was something really special. You were destined for greatness. Do you remember that? You feel like you had the world by the tail and you could be anything in the world you wanted to be. I think that life and the hardships of life kind of stomp some of that dreamer out of us. And I know for me, when the bleakness and the blackness of the financial situation that I was in a few years ago, I remember when that started to really sink in, I sort of just accepted the fact that I would be someone that never traveled, that never left the country. I mean, I remember vividly many times thinking, I'll never leave this continent. It's just not in my lot in life. We're so buried in debt. And so I'm going to go back to that. I was going to say that it became painful to me, and I think maybe people can relate to this. It became painful for me to have hope and to dream. So it was actually a little bit easier to just like put a damper on the dreamer in me, and that whole I believe I was destined for greatness kind of a thing. It became safer and more comfortable to just kind of put a lid on that and just accept my lot in life, right? And this company has totally changed that for me, and I want to talk about that in a second. I am going to play another video for you tonight, but let me set it up like this for you. I want you, as you listen to this video, to the best of your ability, I want you to soak in all of the words that are said. To the best of your ability, I want you to listen and soak it in. Give me a second to cue it up.
Your brain is like a circuit switch. Once you believe you are something, you actually embody it. You embody that feeling. If you were, God forbid, in a coma, and you woke up and you didn't really have a memory, and you were told that you used to be a Navy SEAL, and they want you back now when you're healthy, do you think you'd act differently and hold yourself differently, conduct yourself different, and have a different self-concept of who you are than if you were told you were a piano instructor? Being successful in life is all about having the proper belief system in who you are. Truly believing that you are something unique, that you are something special in that field. If you truly believe inside of you that you are one of the best actors in the world, you will be entirely different than if you're like, I hope I'm good. Your expressions will be totally different. Your tone of voice. You'll talk in a more convincing fashion. You'll use your natural voice instead of a scripted one. You'll be more emphatic. You'll be more real, more relatable. Our brain is like a circuit. And so if we introduce it with the proper wiring, you're going to go straight to your target. If you're unsure about who you are, then your dreams, your goals, they will never become a reality. Everyone has mental doubts in life, internal conflicts. Even the most successful people that you look up to, but they don't live there. It's how you handle those negative thoughts in that exact moment and overwhelm them with positive action. And that comes with this utmost confidence in yourself that you can handle the situation. Trust in yourself that you are better than the moment.
The great think differently. The greats see differently, right? The greats have a different worldview. The greats, they approach the game in a totally different way. So I need you to do me a huge favor. I need you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. Because if you can get this, you can get any success you want in life. You can have anything you want in life if you can get this. The next time you give a low effort, right? You give it 70% or 50% or 30%. I want you to think about what you're thinking about when your effort is low. If your effort is low, you're probably not thinking about the opportunity. You're probably thinking about the obligation. And when you think about E.T., how you stay pumped up? E.T.'s how you stay on fire. E.T., how you always driven, even in the midst of trials and tribulations, even in the midst of your haters, when people try to break you and tear you down. E.T., how you stay strong. I keep thinking about the opportunity. Every single day, I'm thinking about the opportunity, and I'm not looking at this thing as an obligation. I'm not looking at this thing as something that I have to do, or that I'm forced to do, right? Something that somebody's making me do. Every time I wake up, I'm thinking, I'm alive, baby. This is the day. This is an opportunity. If you want what you've never had before, if you want to do what you've never done before, if you want to be what you've never been before, change your mentality. And I want you to see that effort goes up when you look at it as, I got an opportunity of a lifetime. But you should be excited about the fact that you have an opportunity.
So that was awesome, right? You guys could hear that, right? It was so profound and so moving. I loved when he said, look at the opportunity and not the obligation. So I think it was really rooted in that video, to me, in this mindset of belief, and this belief that we can do extraordinary things with our lives. So I'm going to weave in a little bit of my personal story. Many of you already know it, but I'm going to kind of tie it into where the business has taken me as recently as this week. When I started coaching, I had a huge why. You know, we talk about having a why, and I had very little skill. Okay, I had no skill. No skill. My social media sucked. My knowledge of the products, truly embarrassing. My confidence to lead a business, zero. Zilch. Zero. Graphic design ability, like, tragic. My posts on social media were atrocious. If someone would have told me that I'd be part of and leading an elite team, I would have scoffed. I would have hoped, but I would have scoffed. I'm not tech savvy. You guys might not believe it. I might look tech savvy now because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot over the last few years. But I remember, coming into the business really bare in terms of skill. But I had that huge why. So it was truly, like they used to say, I used to read, like, fire in your belly. Your why is your fire in your belly. And mine really, truly, like, I did have a stomach ache. I did have a stomach ache. I think I had an ulcer. Not really an ulcer, but I worried about having an ulcer. My stomach actually hurt because of the fear and anxiety I was in. And I turned that into, like Sherry Faye was on last week, and we talked about that video, good. Remember, we talked about finding our good. That fear and anxiety, that bellyache, that was good. That was good for me. It was fuel. It fueled me. It fueled me to hit the ground running. So just to tie it into last week, finding your good. Sometimes we at the time, we weren't paying our mortgage. We didn't have the money to pay our mortgage. That's shelter. I had children. We're talking shelter. And I signed on as a coach, and I had to, Shakeology is $100 a month. And we weren't paying for our shelter. So when people tell me, like, I can't become a coach because I can't afford it, I'm like, are you paying for your shelter? Because if you are, you probably can find a way, because we were not. And so that's kind of where the business began for me. And just to fast forward 3.5 years, I got my 1099 from Beachbody today, and I didn't know how I was going to tell you guys this. I talked to my diamonds about it, because I have a page with my diamonds in there. I didn't know if I was going to post it on the team page or how I was going to tell you guys this. I'm not bragging, and most of you guys know me so well that you know my heart. Many coaches have done way more than me in way less time, so there's no ego here, but I want to tell you what's possible. So I went from that not paying the mortgage, that fear, and my 1099, I made $80,000, you guys, on the business in 2015. I saved 25% of that as in a savings account. And what I was able to do with the rest of it that didn't go into savings is truly life-changing for my family. Like, truly, we did some profound things with the income that I've been blessed with through the business. So how did I get there? How can you get there? Totally, absolutely failing and failing and failing and failing and trying new things, but not stopping. Failing and failing and failing and not stopping. So let me read this. I don't know how many of you guys have read The Slight Edge. It comes highly recommended to coaches for personal development. I want to read this little excerpt on the subject of failing forward and getting off course, because you're gonna do things wrong with your business. You're gonna do things wrong with your life. And so listen to this. On its way to landing astronauts safely on the surface of the moon, the miracle of modern engineering that was Apollo rocket was actually on course 2 to 3% of the time, which means that for at least 97% of the time it took to get from Earth to the moon, it was off course. In a journey of nearly 250,000 miles, the vehicle was actually on track for only 7,500 miles. Or to put it another way, for every half hour the ship was in flight, it was on course for less than a minute. And it reached the moon safely and returned to tell the tale. How was such a thing possible? Because modern space travel is a masterful example of the slight edge course correction in action. If this machine, at the time of the most sophisticated, expansive, and finely calibrated pieces of technology ever devised, was correcting its own off-course errors every 29 minutes out of every 30, it is reasonable to expect that you could do better than that. Let's say you were able to match an Apollo's rocket degree of accuracy in the pursuit of your own goals. That would mean that you'd be perfectly on target and continue no more than 10 days in any given year, on course, 10 days out of every given year. The next time you're going to give yourself a hard time because you feel like you've gotten off track, think about the Apollo program and give yourself a break. And then this quote from Thomas Watson: "Would you like me to give you the formula for success? It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failure." You're thinking of failure as the enemy of success, but it isn't at all. You can be discouraged by failure, or you can learn from it. So go ahead and make mistakes. Make all you can, because remember, that's where you'll find success on the other side of failure. So when I entered into the business, I had an upline, of course, and then her upline is not engaged in the business. So then I had another upline above that. So most of you know my upline is Kelly Amos. And then above her, the next working upline is Holly Heyerman in Fit Finances. So I sort of just had this big fuel, right? This big literal fire in my belly. And I wanted to learn, so I had the Coach Online office, and I didn't really have any systems. I didn't really have any systems to plug into. I kind of had to teach myself this business. And so I did a lot of failing. Kelly had some occasional team calls, but they fizzled after, I think, 2 months. Team Fit Finances, Holly Hireman's group had, it had some new coach trainings that were sporadic and different curriculum and led by different people, and I took one of them, and let me see. I took, let me see if I can mute it there. I think I fixed it. Did I fix the problem? Yeah. I took a little bit of training. So here we are in Team Play Hard. I'm 3.5 years in. I made a bazillion mistakes, but we've found a successful stride. And one of the things that I really want to do is take us to the moon. I don't just want my own success. I want you guys' success. And I want solid, my goal with 2015, which is when the elite happened, the elite status happened. We are one of the very top teams in the company. I really wanted to look at creating an infrastructure so that you guys could have success. You could have a map to the moon, something to follow, something simple. And that's what I want to finish the call with. So first, let me read what Webster would say the definition of infrastructure is, because that's what I'm working to provide, failing forward what I have in place for you, and I want us to think about moving into 2016. Infrastructure is the basic physical and organizational structures and facilities, example, buildings, roads, power supply, needed for the operation or enterprise. So if our operation and enterprise is to be this amazing team where our coaches are having awesome success and financial freedom and dreaming big, we need buildings, roads, and we need power supplies. And so that is what I've really worked at trying to create, and I've had lots of help. And so let's go over it. So let me tell you that we just had our very best month as a team ever in terms of all the numbers that I pour over in our sponsorship drill down. We truly are at the top of our game, having the greatest impact and imprint on our world. Right now, you guys, right now. January was crazy, and we're just beginning February. So we've got the wind in our back, and I want to sort of set out and talk to you guys about the roadmap for 2016, and this might be a little boring, but I want you to take notes. It's really important. And then I'll wrap up and close and open it up for any questions you guys might have. So here's your roadmap. Here, remember, you're going to get off course. You're going to get off course. You're going to get off course, and you're going to fail, but come back to the roadmap. Whenever you sign a new coach, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? Add them to the team page. So for some of you, some of this is going to be a review. You have 24 hours. I'd like you to take no more than 24 hours to connect with them and make sure they know how to find their website. They know how to log in. They know how to set it up. They know how to do set up their EFT. They know how to find their video library. They know how to find the National Wake Up Call. There's things that they need to know within 24 hours. So if you don't have your own system, I have a Getting Started Right YouTube. It's plug and play. I'll put it in the files of Team Play Hard tonight with another training video. You can copy the link and you can send it to them, and it gives them a tour of their Coach Online office, and it hits everything your new coach needs to know. Then when you follow up with them, you just ask if they have any questions, and you spend that time getting to know them and what their needs are and goals are a little bit better. So that's one. You have to have this getting started right piece with your onboarding. This is new. As we talk about the culture of our team, I will confess to you guys, I didn't understand the importance of Success Club. I didn't talk enough these last 3 years to you guys about Success Club. I didn't understand how important, what a driver that it is. And so it just wasn't in my verbiage as much as it should have been. And that is going to and has begun to change. So when you enroll a new coach, we need to change that culture now. We need to start then. So these are the things you talk about with your coach in that first getting started right call. You've given them the video or you took the time to tour them. Brian has 4 new customers so far this month because of Success Club. Amazing. Amazing. The first thing you want to talk to them about is Success Club. Even if they don't understand the whole point system, you tell them that's a goal. These are your goals. A, 1, they hit Success Club. Write that down. You're having this conversation with your new coach. 2, they become a success starter. And if you don't know what that means that they hit Success Club the first 3 months of their business. Do you know how good they're going to feel? They're going to win a free trip to Summit. They're going to have some income coming in. If they are a success starter, they're going to be making money right away as a coach. I want to back up to Success Club. This is the goal that I have for myself right now. And I beckon you, I invite you to adopt it for yourself and to just make it part of our team culture. It's not as audacious as Tanya Barron's, who's in the top 10, but my goal for myself, and I hope that you will adopt this goal for yourself, is that we hit Success Club 5 by the 10th of the month, and that we hit Success Club 10 by the 20th of the month. Success Club 5 by the 10th, and that'll be on my little calendar that you guys are seeing. Success Club 5 by the 10th, Success Club 10 by the 20th. Okay, so then you talk to them about success starters. Then you talk to them about Emerald Rank. These are your goals. They don't have to fully understand it. They just have to know these are your goals for them as a new coach. Success Club, success starters, Emerald Rank. 4, that their shake is paid for. That's kind of a redundancy because if they're hitting Success Club 5, it's going to be paid for. But I like to put it in those words to them. And then lastly, number 5, you want to let your new coach know about our new coach training. Okay, let's talk about that next. Our new coach training, I've been fortunate enough to work with Brian, Kara, Danielle, and Christy. They're diamonds on our team. They've been running it with me now for a few months in succession. It's really dialed in. It's like a challenge group. Some of you have been through it. And we usually have a group of like 5 new coaches in there, something like that. And it hits everything in 12 lessons, everything a new coach needs to know. 12 lessons, 3 weeks long, everything a new coach needs to know. It starts the first Monday of every month. It's $10 to get in, which we put back in a gift towards some of the people that do really well and comment every day and show up every day. We give them some prizes at the end. If you have a coach that cannot afford the $10, please let me know. But we do like them to put that little skin in the game, and we like to be able to have a pool for gifts at the end. But that is available to you guys every single month. Okay, so moving on. These are your tools. This is your map. You've got the Getting Started Right YouTube tour. You're going to follow up with them. Then you have the new coach training if you want to plug them into it. If you don't have one of your own, if you don't have another way, use Team Playhards. Then starting this month, and many of you have already done your form. Thank you. For all Emeralds, every month there will be a 5-day Emerald to Diamond push. It's a Facebook group. It's done. It's ready to go. That'll be the 4th Monday of every month. So conceivably, your new coach could do the new coach training the first 3 weeks of the month. They could conceivably go Emerald in that time. 3 weeks. They can go Emerald, and then they could go right into the Emerald training. But it's open. It's going to be there every single month for any Emeralds that became Emerald that month. So like Sherry Faye will do it. A few of you are. I already have like six of you doing it. We also have an Emerald webinar. I sent it to Brian. I sent it to some of you guys. If you have a coach that goes Emerald and it doesn't link up with the timing of the Emerald push group, you can send them a 38-minute webinar that I made. It's done. It's done. It's just send them a link, and it's 38 minutes of everything they need to know once they're an Emerald. Okay, then we have the business presentation webinar. That is in place for the middle Wednesday of every month. That's a live presentation of the video. If you guys can get on, I really like when you guys let me know who you have invited and what they're like, so I can speak a little bit specifically to their scenario. We're having really amazing success onboarding coaches to our team with that webinar, and that's every month. So that's there for you also as part of your roadmap to success, part of your trip to the moon. So another new thing that Brian and I are going to do is every fourth Saturday, give or take, every fourth Saturday we're going to do a live power hour. This is all the rage with the top coaches. So we've done some live trainings together. We've done the Google Forms. We've done the Canva. This is going to be how to do a live power hour. And so stand by for more information on that. But that's a great thing that you guys need to do, but also put your new coaches into, because your new coaches need to know if they only have an hour a day or 30 minutes a day. Thanks, Julie. That's funny. You're welcome. I have an inner nerd too, obviously. So the live power hour, basically it's a work session. It's really important that our coaches know how to spend their time and they're not just spinning their wheels. So Brian and I will be doing that once a month for now. We're gonna see how that goes. And then almost done. Let's see. There's challenge groups. I'm always running challenge groups. Now I would encourage you guys to do your own, but I'm always running one or two every single month. I've never not. So if you're new or you have new coaches or you have like sometimes I have like one customer. I'm like, does anyone have a challenge group? I can throw that one customer is doing size. Is anyone doing a size? So always look on the calendar for that. But when you're able and confident, do your own. Okay, I'm almost done. We obviously have the team calls on Monday night. I wanted to let you know that the business runs in quarters. So there is Q1, if you ever hear me or see in the pinned post, we're in Q1 right now. And often I give for my personally sponsored coaches incentives to hit rank within those quarters. So I just kind of wanted to give you the broad strokes of the calendar. So let me say this about it. You might find that you want to take some of these tools. I'm going to give Embers is on. I'm going to use her as an example. Embers wants to do her own webinar, and I've seen it, and it's awesome. So she looks at the smorgasbord of trainings that I'm providing, right, of these systems, this map, and she's like, I like this, I want to do this, I'll use this, I'll use this, I'll use this, but I want to do my own webinar that's in her own voice. And so you're able to pick and choose. There's no ego in it for me. You could say I want to do all of those resources, or you could say I want to do some, or I want to do them until I'm a 1-star and I'm going to do my own at that point. Kind of like Emily and Lindsay, they have their own training systems that they use. So they plug their coaches into their training systems, and that's great. And Fuji is doing her own thing. So I just want you to know that from 3.5 years ago till today, from everything I've learned and everything I wish someone could have provided to me on year one, I want to provide for you guys. And that's the roadmap. That's what we have to offer. We also have a Now I'm Diamond, here's what's next training. So I guess to just close it up, reflect on your own greatness. Think about that video, you guys. I'll post it in Team Play Hard tonight. I'll post that video. Be gracious to yourself in your failings. That's what makes us great. And I just want to commend you on all the momentum and the momentum you guys have, and the fact that January was truly the best month we've ever had. And so I'm just gonna wrap right there and open it up to any questions you guys might have or comments.
Hey, I just want to know if Julie Patterson, did you get a chance to hear Ellen's story, or did you come on after that? I think her story really should resonate with you from where she started. They weren't able to make their mortgage payments. And,
oh yeah.
It was all. I mean, 'cause I know you guys are tight like that.
I'm poor, obviously.
Well, Matthew and Megan Shrewsbury, they're tight. They have a single income with 3 kids, and it's all they can do. That's my new coach who just signed up. It's all I can do just to get his monthly Shakeology order, but they're barely getting by. But it's just a really neat story, Ellen, and I thank you for sharing it, because
yeah, that's true. Sounds like me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It felt risky. It helped me, and this might help you guys when you're in your recruiting phase. It helped me to know that I could quit. Like, it really did help me to know that with this business, like, we're not locked in. We didn't have to buy a bunch of inventory, and I just knew I was going to give it everything I possibly had. And it was scary. It was very scary. I felt sick to my stomach when I enrolled as a coach. I felt sick to my stomach.
Hey, last week, Ellen, you had mentioned, what was it? Try and get 100 no's, or somebody did. I like that, actually. Just now when you were talking about try and get 5 Success Club points by the 10th and 10 by the 20th or whatever, and I'm just thinking, that's just not me, But with that being said, I really like the idea of trying to get 100 no's. I mean, right after you said that, we're doing our team cup with Dustin and Beth and some others, I think, if I remember correctly, one other. And Connie is just knocking it dead. She's been going out, reaching out to people, and I bet she's already, I don't think she's had a whole lot of no's, though. I mean, she's probably talked to about maybe 15 people about doing, our newest thing, and she's had like 9 of those 15 say yes, not no, but she's just kicking my butt so far this month. But I really like that thought of just go for 100 no's. Don't worry about pushing people to say yes. Just get 100 no's, and I can do that.
It's kind of weird, Ellen, when you said for me to do that, to go out and find 100 no's, can we turn off your computer? Okay. Anyway, I've always been kind of against sales. No, you're not.
Here, I'll leave the meeting.
Okay, Michael's gonna come over here on this side.
There we go.
Okay. Anyway, when you told me to go out and find 100 no's, I just started asking people, expecting, my goal was to have them tell me no. And then when they told me yes, I'm like, are you really sure?
You know how to sign them up.
And so it was that mind manipulation with me really worked. So I was like, yeah, my goal is to get them to say no, and then I won't feel so bad about sales. And all of a sudden, these people wanted to start signing up. I have one signed up as a coach and on a Shakeology order, and I think I have a couple more people signing up for. Yeah, it's just been it really works.
That's great. It was not my idea. That's something I learned from Danielle Natoni, Fit and Funky. She created a sheet with 100 bubbles on it, and every bubble said no in it. And that was their team cup plan. Their goal was to keep going until they crossed off. They got 100 no's. So, yeah. And it's not, I know we all worry about being pushy, but if we're doing those relationship building types of things and running challenge groups and stuff, then that last part of inviting doesn't feel awkward. It only feels awkward if you're not doing that other stuff first.
So can I interject?
Please.
Do you know that there's a book called Go for No, and that it's so good, and that this whole company rewards whoever gets the most no's at the end of the month. They have awards around it, and the people who get the most no's are the ones who are consistently have the most sales. But they're not rewarding sales; they're rewarding no's. It's a really interesting book. It's kind of how I started. My thought process changed starting in January with that.
I didn't
So,
know.
I'll add something too.
Please.
I'm not on these calls often anymore, it's because of my schedule, but I'm on Ellen's Diamonds, and what I want to share is you can't answer for somebody. Okay, Ellen knew I had a full-time job, and she never asked me if I wanted to be a coach. She just assumed I didn't want to be a coach until I brought it up to her. She's like, I just do it. So we can't assume who wants to do what and who schedules what. We don't know. So it's the whole concept we've been talking about. You have to ask, or not even ask, but just share the opportunity. If you don't expose them to it, they're never going to know what's out there, and you'll never know if it's a fit for them or not. Because Ellen had brought up months before, oh, would your wife be interested? And I'm like, no, I'm not interested in that. So you don't know. You got to share.
It's a really good point. It's a really good point. So
on that note,
yes,
one of my like sticky notes that I have all over my house is don't decide for someone else. Always ask.
it's perfect. That's great. Yeah, I've been wrong a lot in doing that, like assuming that certain people, you know, and on the flip side, like assuming that certain people would want the opportunity, and then being really surprised that they don't, or they don't find it's a good fit. And I've been continually surprised. So it's a really good thread. I was gonna say back to the live power hour thing. That is becoming the thing that the top coaches are doing right now, is doing this live work session where it would be like this. We're all on, and Brian and I are going to go through the first one at the end of the month. So we will take turns presenting an assignment to you, like go post in your challenge group or something like that. We're going to assign something to you, and then we'll just go to work. And then we come back in 10 minutes and we share, or go invite to the business opportunity webinar or something. So that, and also this thing with the pods, that's just something I'm learning from the top, you guys. It's just, we don't need to do it this month, because this month we're all gung-ho about the, what are we doing? The Team Cup. We're all doing that, so it would be a redundancy, but I just forgot the name of it, because sometimes it's called Fall Classic, and that'll be what the goal will be. Like, let's say 15 of you decide you want to be in these pods. I'll do groups of 5, and I will be in each group. I'll be in each group so I can work with you guys. And then it'll be a thread on Facebook, and the goal is that conversation thread goes back and forth all the time for the whole month. And it just will be about who you're inviting and what's going on in terms of Success Club. So it'll kind of keep the energy of a team cup kind of a thing, but all the time, year round. So do that. Let's make sure you do that in March. Give it a try. It also gives us an opportunity to work with different people. So like it's always amazing to me how much I can learn from one of you. And so if we're every month kind of linking arms with 4 or 5 other people in their little pod, you're going to get everyone's best practices on the whole team, you know. So any other questions about that? The calendar, start consulting. Make sure you look at the pinned post. I feel like I say that a lot, but make sure you're looking at the pinned post on Team Play Hard. Sometimes I get questions from you guys about something, and I'm like, it's in the pinned post. I say that a lot. It's in the pinned post. So it's there. It's hard to see it on your mobile phone, but it's up there. Nick, how are you? He's muted. I'm unmuting you. How are you, Nick?
How are you?
Good. What's going on with your business?
Oh, inviting every day, but no yeses yet. I'm getting a lot of no's, so there's that.
Yay!
Not right now.
Yeah.
K-State won too.
Yeah, that was awesome. I took a break to watch that game, so.
Of course. Ellen has no idea what we're talking about, but that's all right.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap. That was great. Thank you so much for making the commitment on your busy Monday night.
Thanks, Al.
Thanks, Ellen.
Okay, bye, guys. Thank you so much.